Here is Barstool Sports' Dave Portnoy. Got him on the show, and here he is. Dave, you call RobinHood the biggest fraud of them all. Put them in prison, you're saying. Okay, make your case. Go ahead.
Well, they intentionally cratered a bunch of stocks, a lot of the ones you just mentioned, the short seas stocks, by not letting people buy it, only selling it. There was only one outcome: crater the stock. They basically stole money from their own clients. They knew that was going to happen to help the hedge funds basically cover. Is there proof of that? If they do the investigation right, I'm sure there will be. But, you know, it's one thing to say we're worried and you freeze the market and you can't buy or sell, and if people want to liquidate at what it is, fine. But to intentionally crater the stock at the expense of all of your customers, well, that's criminal in my mind. That's flat out criminal.
Okay, let me put the other side of the argument, because there is another side to this, I think. If RobinHood had not restricted trading, they didn't have enough money for the clearinghouses to complete the trades. If you fail on a trade, you've got a cascade of failures all the way down the line. And that is a financial crisis. I put it to you that RobinHood had to do what it did when it did it. And by doing it, they were, in fact, representing their own best interests and, to some degree, the best interests of their own investors.
So Vlad, who went on CNBC yesterday and was point blank asked, is there a liquidity issue, said no.
At the time of the putting the restrictions on, right?
They asked, did you do this? Did you put the restrictions and change the rules because RobinHood had a liquidity issue? He said flatly no. So what you're suggesting is something that he says was not the case.
Okay, he says what you're saying, Vlad says, what you're saying is just a conspiracy theory.
Well, I mean, how many criminals and crooks have raised their hand and been like, oh, yeah, we just committed a crime or did something? I think in the history of crimes, none until they get caught. So then what is it? His answer is basically he was protecting his own clients, but not because of the liquidity issue. He didn't want them to get hurt. That's essentially what he's saying, and that's full of crap.
Okay, let's move on. Tell me more about your feud with Mets owner Steve Cohen.
Well, I mean, again, if you look at what happened objectively, Melvin Capital, who was bailed out by Steve Cohen and the Citadel, and they're old buddies, traders, they all work together. Steve Cohen has a history of insider trading, one of the great insider trading scandals in the history of the stock market, right? 2-year suspension. And now suddenly he's right in the middle, his buddies, with what went on yesterday. Again, I don't have the proof. He unequivocally denied that he had any involvement in what happened yesterday. I would wager if you forced it out and you had all the subpoenas, all the phone records, all the conversations, I think you'd find out he was involved. Again, I'm not making giant leaps of logic here. I'm looking at facts that I don't know how anybody rationally looking at them could come up with any other conclusion. Generally, where there's smoke, there's fire, and this was a 5-alarm blaze.
Okay. Look, at the moment, the number of people going short on GameStop is actually going up. Short positions are expanding on GameStop. And at the same time, the stock price is going up. That implies we've got another short squeeze coming just around the corner. Is that the way you see it?
I mean, I guess. Listen, if I'd short the stock too if I knew that if I was wrong, they were just going to press the stop button and give me all my money back. What do you got to lose?
What are you going to do about this now? Are you joining this lawsuit against RobinHood?
I haven't thought about it. You know, I still have. Well, I think RobinHood, that's part of the issue here. RobinHood, I'm going to give Vlad some credit. I don't think he's stupid enough to thought he could just press the pause button and not create basically this chaos that he has in his entire message and the entire company. And I've said it a bunch, RobinHood, steal from the rich, give to the poor. They did the opposite. He had to know this was coming. So I think he knows, class action lawsuit, whatever, that he was going to basically tank this company that he built on the exact opposite messaging of what he did yesterday. And they're willing to face the class action lawsuits. They're willing to pay fines, just like Steve Cohen paid $1 billion fine when he got in trouble. It was either pay fines or lose your $1 billion hedge funds. And RobinHood, due for the IPO, they needed the help. So will I join it? I don't know, but I think Vlad knew this was coming. I think they had to know this was coming. Nobody's that stupid to be like, I'm going to basically spit in the face of my entire client base, and they'll be okay with it.
Big picture for a second. What we're seeing here is the emergence of a brand new class of investor, trader, I should say, and that's the millennials with a smartphone and access to social networks. You're right in the middle of this. Are you leading this millennial charge into Wall Street?
No, I'm not leading it. Obviously, we've been doing it for a while. I have DDTG, the Wallstreetbets, and Reddit. But here's the thing, and I've been saying it since March, adapt or die. The old guard, that's their fault. Listen, there's always market conditions that affect the stock market. If the old guard don't want to accept the internet, Reddit, Wallstreetbets, myself, they're going to continue to lose and maybe in some cases cheat. But this is something, when people invested in GameStop and AMC and Nokia, they did it because they took into account what was happening socially on these platforms and the momentum. And you can say whatever you want. I keep hearing the only thing that should matter is fundamentals. You can scream that till you're blue in the face, but public opinion, Elon Musk being an example, a celebrity CEO who has influence, these things are all part of what should affect investment decisions. And it's unfair to say, well, the Reddit guys and the Wall Street guys, we can't let them do that. Yes, it's a new age. The internet is new trading platforms. It all is shaping the future of how Wall Street works.
Is it manipulative at all? If hundreds of thousands of, I'm not going to call them day traders, but millennials, guys with cell phones and access to the internet, if they all get together, if they collude and gang up on a particular stock or a particular company, is that I expect you to be banned from Facebook if hate motivates you, Dave.
Yeah, listen, there's certain platforms, and hate in the sense of, I'm going to make sure that I get my revenge one way or the other, metaphorically speaking and financially speaking, but not like, who knows? Honestly, Stuart, who knows? You can get banned for anything at any time. This place, we're still on all the platforms. This interview could get me banned. Who knows? It's a crazy world.
No, you're not going to be banned from me, and that's a fact. Hey, Portnoy, Mr. Dave, look, thanks very much for being with us this morning. You're the man of the hour, and we're glad you're on with us this morning. And we hope to see you again real soon. Gotcha.
All right. Thanks,
Dave.
Stuart.
See you later.
Take care.